With this video, we will be doing Lara Trump and Tom MacDonald interview. And if you want to help this channel and the content that we're making, please help support our merchandise. The link is in the description. And if you didn't hit that like button, make sure you hit the like button. We're trying to get the channel to grow. And the only way we're going to do this is if you like, share, and comment on the content. So without further ado, let's get into Lara Trump, Tom MacDonald interview. Let's go. Chi, get the yayo.
Get the yayo.
Fake news. They got the fake news. No, she related to Trump.
Everybody, thanks so much for joining us right here on The Right View. Tonight, I'm so stoked. We're welcoming back one of our favorite guests, Tom MacDonald. Tom, you've been doing a lot. You haven't been sleeping much, I'm going to assume. You've been killing it with all this fire music you've been putting out. And recently, you linked up with Adam Calhoun for a second album together because you guys just couldn't leave well enough alone. Coming out next month.
Friday.
Tell us all about it. What can we expect?
Yeah, so essentially, I was kind of going to take a break from rap.
Oh.
I did Ghost, which is a song I wrote for my girlfriend, and it got pretty widespread recognition across the country and hit the radio and did all these things. And
first of all, you gotta say shout out to Tom for not taking that break. You feel what I'm saying? Because he's saying he wanted to take a break, but the music that been coming out of that camp in the last month has been dope. So I'm glad he didn't take a break. I'm glad that he linked up with Adam, and I can't wait to see what the album's actually gonna sound like and be about. You know
right, because when I look at the music he's done in the time that he was talking about doing a break, you gotta think maybe that's the premise for him wanting to take a break. Because he was in that headspace.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, when you're in that headspace, you're more creative, you're more true to yourself, and more of what you really feel is coming out. So I'm glad he didn't take that break because it probably helped fuel what we got in the last couple of months.
Yeah, facts. Like, if you would have took the break, this American Flag song when it came out, and the one that just came out with Dex and Adam, them songs when it came out, and it kind of reminded me of what I was telling you about what we're doing, where I don't be liking taking days off because some reactions that would have came out wouldn't have came out, and you feel what I'm saying, and you don't know which video is going to have the biggest impact, and if you would have took that day off, you never would have had that impact. And it's the same thing with him. If he would have took that time off, he wouldn't have had the impact that he just had. So that's why I'll be looking at it. It'd be hard for me to take a day off because I understand we're like artists. You know what I'm saying?
And everything is it's hard to say because you never want to be pressed for time, but everything in this nature is time sensitive.
Yeah, it will be different completely. And to give you an example, if we doing this video right now, if we would have did it tomorrow, it's a whole completely different reaction. You feel what I'm saying? So it's all about the time. So it's
time
dope.
and execution.
Facts.
Making that type of music, I felt like we were really infiltrating the top secret confidential area of the music industry, the most disingenuous sort of genre out there. So I got a real big kick out of that. So I was going to continue doing the pop style stuff with obviously my own little twist on it. And then the song got canceled off the radio and ripped off the radio, and it kind of killed the whole song in its tracks.
Radio is nothing anymore. You know what I'm saying? You could blow it without the radio. Back in the day, you need a radio. Now because of the internet, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music,
Sirius, satellite radio.
Who listens to the radio?
And most people, that's why I bring up Sirius satellite radio, because you have so many different options, but most people control what they're processing. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's why the radio is dead, because people are like, I don't want to listen to this frequency. Yeah. And so they didn't control that, rather than, I'm feeling bad because all I've been hearing is Leave My Woman.
Yeah, and another reason it's dead, because time we get into our cars, we plug our cell phones up and listen to the music off our phone. So the radio, who want to listen to commercials when you don't have to listen to commercials? Like,
exactly.
Just run your playlist.
And then it just so happened that Adam called me maybe 2 or 3 days after that happened, and he was like, I don't know what you're doing with your music, but if I'm down to do another album if you are. Wow. So I was kind of at the point where I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do, because I was going to segue into pop, and I was exhausted on the rap thing. So I took a couple days to think it over, and I was like, if I'm going to continue to do the rap music stuff, if we're going to do another Brave album, then I want it to be louder and more offensive than ever, and I want the actual rapping to be the best that I've ever done in my life. So I kind of set out on that journey with Adam, and looking back at it now, like, I'm very glad we did, because I think it is far superior to the Brave one, and that's a tall order to fill.
And it's funny that he said that, because I remember on a Black and White song with Tom and Adam and Dax, I was saying on that verse, I really liked his verse on that song Black and White when he came out spitting on fast. And it's funny how he said that, like, he's like, I wanted my raps to be the best on this album. And when I heard that, I'm like, this is one of the best verses I heard from Tom. So what he's saying is linking up to the work that actually we heard so far.
Exactly. But it's cool to say that you can actually say, while it was happening, you're able to recognize what's happening even before he says it himself. That's cool.
Right.
But I feel like, as far as rapping goes, it's the absolute best I've ever sounded in my life. I think the songs are bigger and louder and more full of what people want to hear. So, super excited.
I mean, great stuff. Love to hear that. Wait, what happened with Ghost? Why was it taken off, like, the radio and everything? I don't even know about that.
So Ghost landed a bunch of placements across America. So it was getting like a couple hundred spins a day, which is not exactly like high rotation, but it's
better enough.
It's considerable. Like, it's respectable.
More than I got out there, Tom, I'll tell you.
Yeah, well,
especially independent.
You should start rapping.
But not bad.
Yeah, so it ended up winning some sort of pop format contest in Canada, and it was supposed to go into high rotation across the country at sort of the premier radio stations. And 2 days after it was in high rotation, I guess, like, a lot of people heard it on the radio and called in and said,
take it off.
I don't know if you guys realize whose music you're playing, but this guy is not like a pop artist. This guy's a rapper, and he makes political music, and he does this and he does that. And, probably threw around the same trigger words that everybody does: racist, bigot, transphobe, homophobe, jerk, whatever it was. And that day we got an email from a company called Rogers that owns all of the radio stations across the country, and they said that they were...
Why do one company own all the radio stations?
So they can... What I was talking about earlier.
So talk about it.
So you can control what people are internalizing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the fact you could, I'm having a wonderful day. You turn on the radio.
Yeah.
And it's some song about leaving your girl or being depressed, and you hit another radio station, and it might be a different song, but they're all on the same frequency.
Okay.
And then the whole world is like, you're at work and wondering why is everybody so down. You know?
Yeah.
Like, programming our mind.
Facts.
That's why it's important to have the playlist. That's why it's important to know about the hurts and stuff to listen to, so you and could find good music.
And you could pick your own frequency.
Yeah.
Instead of being picked for you.
Yeah.
Facts. Good point.
Regretted to inform us that they were going to remove the song from the radio. And they gave
it... Oh, my God. That is insane.
It was crushing. It was crushing. I was upset. So yeah, I was kind of like in this weird purgatory where I was like, I'm very exhausted right now from running as hard as I have been running for so many years.
Right.
I'm very tired. I don't know what I have left in me in terms of rapping right now. I wanted to do something new, which was this pop music, and then that was ripped away from me, which honestly filled me up with the piss and vinegar needed to make the Brave 2 what it's become. So, blessing in disguise.
Wow.
And I was just thinking the same thing, because what people don't see, like, stuff don't happen for a reason. I'm pretty sure this album, Brave 2, is going to have way more impact on the people, on the culture, than that pop album was ever going to have. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So sometimes stuff happen for your benefit. When you're going through it at the time, you don't know why you're going through it. But when you look back at a couple years later, you're going to be like, oh, that's why it happened. You feel what I'm saying? Because this album might be his biggest album. It might take off. It might do way better thing for him than that pop album was ever going to do for him.
Yeah. And it's good because it puts him in a position when he took the step back, and you can see it forced him into a position almost of taking a step forward, because he was able to appreciate being appreciated.
Right. And I can understand why he's exhausted, because you got to go so hard just to make it on people radar. Like people have no idea how much time we put into this just to get on people's radar. Like I was just telling you, we dropped an hour 13 hours ago, went to sleep, woke up, and we were right back in the studio. Just imagine if we was doing as long as him. You know what I'm saying? Now he's on people's radar. He dropped a video in one day, it does 1 million views. You got to put a lot of work in just to get to that point. I'm pretty sure his first videos wasn't doing that. But like he said, he worked himself to exhaustion. Now he dropped a video, it's almost going to do 1 million views 24 hours.
I mean, first of all, let me just say I'm so sorry to hear that. And I mean, what a disgusting thing cancel culture really is, because that's essentially what it was, right? Like somebody decided that because you felt like you had a right as an American to speak your mind via your music and say what you thought about things, you needed to be canceled. And I cannot, I mean, I would say I can't believe it, Tom, but I can believe it, because this is the crazy world that we live in. That's terrible.
Facts. It seemed like that happened like overnight. I remember like when we was coming up, one thing that we all held on to was like, yo, over here we could say what we want. We could speak how we feel. That's how we really felt 10 years ago. Yeah. We no longer feel like that.
Because everybody got soft, though. Everybody got soft because everybody had to cater to people who weren't strong enough. Just call it like it is.
Right.
When you're not happy with yourself, you're missing something.
Right.
And it's not a bad thing to not be strong. You just find your strength and you get stronger. Right. But we didn't do that. Right. Instead, we pacified people, and it took the ability to say what's on your mind. And so now, if you say that, you're hurting someone. So and then it's another issue. It's another issue. It's another issue. It's another issue. And so now you cater to the 9 people in the room, and the one person that's missing is people like me or other people who can't say what they want to say as not to offend everybody.
Yeah.
So you walking on eggshells. And so most people just say less.
Yeah. That was like one thing we held on to in this country over other countries. We put our chest out. At least we could say what we want.
Yeah, it's the general freedom.
Now, that's not what it is no more.
Exactly.
Terrible that happened to you. I'm so sorry. What I'll say is I like your response to it, that it filled you with the piss and vinegar. You needed to get out there and really like throw down, because
that's what I said. Yeah, same thing I said.
So we gotta get ready.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's sort of the thing is like a lot of these people that have lost their jobs, lost their friends, lost their wife or husband, lost their livelihood because of this like counterculture thing or cancel culture thing. I think that people need to realize that like what you're actually dealing with here is like a bunch of strangers on the internet that are going to try to take things away from you and humiliate you and try and beat you into submission and take your voice away and silence you and your greatest strength here is literally just saying no.
Right.
You're not going to do that. Like you can either let their fire, you can either let their gasoline fuel your own fire, or you can let that fire burn you alive. Those are your 2 options. So, and I'm not here for that. Like, and I've said it a million times, like we own the cameras, we own the lights. Like there's no record label here to drop me. There's no sponsorship that's going to pull out. There's no endorsement deal that's going to get me in trouble. No record label going to tell me what to say. And certainly, no weirdos on the internet with 89,000 genders that are going to cancel my music.
Yeah.
By the way, like some of the sickest people out there, and these are clearly, Tom, people who have nothing going on, because the fact that you would go like comment on doing some negative, nasty comment. I mean, please, I know I shouldn't read any comment on any article written about me, but every now and again, I kind of venture into that space and I'm like, these people are sick and they have nothing going on in their lives very clearly, because you got to make like a whole profile in order to comment. And a lot of these are not even real people. These are like bots doing it. It's disgusting and crazy. But I do want to talk about some good comments for you. John Rich is a pretty good friend of ours. I think the world of him. First of all, I want to hear from you in a second about how...
I mean, just think about that. In Tom's business, even in our business, like I was telling you, gotta have thick skin. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Like when I first got into this, we've probably been in this 9-10 months now. I lost track, but comments used to affect me a lot. I remember one comment, somebody said something to me and I didn't record for 4 days. That's how much that comment affected me. But now when I see comments, like I seen the comment, I showed it to you yesterday. The guy was like, "You paused it within 30 seconds. I'm out of here." You feel what I'm saying? I was like, why did you waste your time even typing that? Like, what made you say, I'm going to type this to him, that I'm letting him know that he paused it in 30 seconds, so I'm not watching this video? You feel what I'm saying? And most of the time, I don't send shots back. But that guy deserved a shot, and I sent it back at him. I still didn't. I still ain't gonna reply. You know what I'm saying? Because you, after a while, you like, enough is enough with this. Facts.
The two of you got connected for your song "End of World," but let me just say, first of all, it's a great song, and I'm gonna read really quick some of these comments that I saw on there because they were very inspiring. I think. This one, I'm a 60-year-old man who doesn't like rap music, but this man's message has changed my mind. God bless Tom. Please pray for our country. We need it. How about this one?
I've seen that comment a lot, even in my comment section, to my reaction to Tom. Yeah. I don't listen to rap, but I listen to Tom. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's all true.
And it's crazy that we all getting the same comments. You know what I'm saying?
It's gotta be one of those things like that makes him smile. Like, I'm watching this interview, but I'm looking at so much more. Like, while they're interacting, you just got to kind of watch Tom's face, because he has one of those faces that talks.
Yeah, facts.
He's trying to do a good job of trying to do his best job of keeping the poker face right now, but he can't help it.
I mean, that's
because when she says certain things, it looks like you can see his brain moving.
Yeah, that's why I want to get in a room with Tom. That's why I want to interview Tom. But I don't want no Zoom interview like this with Tom. No, I want us in the room with Tom, face to face, eye to eye, ask him the question that everybody want to know. And a lot of the time, I'm the person, I read body language. So, you know what I'm saying? I want to read your body language, the questions I got.
Are you uncomfortable?
Yeah, you feel me?
Agitated?
Can you look me in my eyes? Even when he doing this right here. Like, you feel what I'm saying? We know the eyes of the camera's right here. So when I want to look somebody in the eyes, I look directly right here at this camera, and I'm looking at him to see if he's looking at the camera's eyes. Is he making that eye contact? You feel me? If I was in the room with him, I want eye contact. Right. I want to know what you're saying to me is sincere, and I think we'll have a dope conversation with Tom because we speak the lingo he speaks, and we're on the same page with a lot of his views that in his music. I think it'll make a dope conversation.
Yeah, I think it needs to happen.
Facts. So if y'all know Tom, everybody hit Tom up. Tell him we need to do the interview. Let's get it.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm a military veteran and an American patriot. I find it's a shame that I'm more proud of a Canadian rapper that has more patriotism than some of my own countrymen. I mean...
That's what they be saying, too. Why Tom keep talking about America? He ain't from America. You know what I'm saying? Right. You see that a lot in the comment section, but it don't matter where you from. I live in America. I can't make a
observation
about freaking China or Russia or anywhere else. Just because it makes zero sense.
When you say why you're not American, it's almost like, why am I a human being on the planet and I can't be a human being on the planet?
That was a great analogy.
Tom, I know there's so much out there. You had this situation with Ghost, which by the way is such a beautiful song. And I'm so sad to hear that happen. But when you hear people who you really impact like that, I mean, that must mean a lot to you.
Yeah, I screenshotted one on my... I'm guilty of reading the comments, too.
Yeah, we shouldn't, but we do.
Yeah, and I screenshotted one today that really hit me, and it's on our new video, You're America, and it says, as a disabled vet, it kills me that I gave up so much for a country that hates us. Oh. And it's fucking heartbreaking. Pardon me. It's heartbreaking. So... like right now, because we put out American flags 2 weeks ago, and we put out Your America a few days ago, like my social media is being raided by what I'm assuming are like angry liberals or angry leftists or progressives or whatever you want to call them. So I'm getting 10,000 plus comments a day of the most rancid stuff that you could possibly imagine. And especially in times like these, like when you're just being bombarded with like so much negativity, things like the comments that you read and things like the comment I just read, like this stuff like truly does mean the world to me. I'm not like, a lot of these artists, these mainstream artists are very separated from their fans. There's like a wall in between them and what they're actually like and what their life's actually like and the people who are consuming their stuff. Right. And for me, it's like that wall is not there. It's totally been torn down. I'm like super in touch with my fans. I'm in a Discord that I'm in there 4 or 5 times a day, talking with all my fans in Discord. I'm responding to comments. I'm doing the live streams. I'm like, I think it's so important. And like one of the things you said is a Canadian rapper. Like,
yeah,
I came to America with $800 6 years ago. My dad shook my hand at the airport and he said, "The American dream is still alive and well. Live up to your potential and work hard." And I came here, and these people, like the folks that the comments you read, these are the people that have provided me and my family with more than I could have ever imagined. So it's like, it almost brings a tear to my eye hearing those things, because I truly like owe these folks everything, and I love them so much. And to have it reciprocated back is just such a wonderful thing.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, the words in so much of your music, I think, really connect with people because we all feel it. Like I told you before we started this interview, I love your music. I play your music in the car with my kids, and they like your music. And I'll tell you what, like, especially playing like Brainwashed, okay? I look at my 2 kids and I'm like, man, I hope that they're taking in what this song is talking about, and they don't get affected by this craziness one day. It's really such a special gift, I think, that you have. And you're right. I do think your fans feel like you're so available to them. And that is a very special.
And I do feel like Tom's available. That's why I'm saying, Tom, we need to do the interview, because I feel like you're available enough. You got a connection with your fans where I can say that to you, and it's a possibility. I wouldn't dare say Beyonce, Jay-Z, let me get an interview. I don't, like you said, I feel like it's a wall. But with Tom, I don't feel like it's a wall. You feel what I'm saying? Right. I think it would be such a great interview. I would pay my own money to fly to him. You don't have to come to me. No. I'll pay for everything I need to get to you and everything else. You don't have to do nothing but be there. That's how much I believe in what he's doing. I believe what we doing. Now, I think we put it together. It'll be a big impact because of how we all talk and what we all know. And we don't really bite our tongues. You feel what I'm saying? He don't really bite his tongue either. That's why I think it'll be a dope. What's the name? I will put my money up to do it.
Plus, it's an expansion of the message.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like anything else. You don't agree with everything that somebody says.
Right.
But if you got enough points, you know what I'm saying, then we can talk about some things. We can understand each other better. Because I thought that was the point anyway. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about racism and all those type of topics, the point is to spark the conversation.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So we try to spark the conversation.
So let's spark the conversation. I'll pay my money out of my pocket to spark the conversation.
Special thing, and it's why you'll never be canceled. It's why, although they did what they did to you with Ghost, I really think that And
I never heard Ghost. Now we got to hear Ghost. Yeah. I don't know how that didn't make it on our radar, how it flew past us.
Got to go to the board.
Yeah, we're going to put that on the board. Matter of fact, just do that right now so we don't forget, because you know how memories are.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? We be like, oh, what were we saying earlier? So yeah, put it on the board. Let's get it.
The best is yet to come for you. Do you have any plans to do anything live? Are we ever going to see you on a stage somewhere? I mean, I'm sure people ask you this all the time. And if you do, can you please come to South Florida? Go ahead.
Absolutely. We've played Pensacola. We've played a couple places in Florida. So it was a little bit of I had a little bit of, I'm not big on luck. I'm more of like an intentions and hard work driven person. I'm not like really into luck, but we did have a little kind of a stretch of bad luck. I had one of my tours I canceled because I was going to go on the road with Falling in Reverse. They're a big rock band. Ronnie Radke's the singer. He's a good friend of mine.
We did reactions.
So I was going to go on the road for like 90 dates and open for those guys. And 2 days before the tour, the lead guitarist's wife fell ill, and then that tour was canceled. So we rushed to put our tour together. And then shortly after announcing our tour, COVID hit. And maybe for you or I, not such a big deal. My girlfriend has some very, very acute respiratory problems. Like a few years ago, she got like a seasonal cold and her lungs deflated, and she was in the hospital for a week. And I was living in the hospital for 7 days next to her hospital bed. So she's kind of like the bubble girl. So for the last couple of years, it's been like very difficult. Like it's stressful for her to be in a room with 5 of her friends because if she gets sick, I'm not going to put into words what that means, but you know, I'll be alone doing this if she gets sick. So we're finally at a point now where I think that the country and the world has moved out of that phase of things. So top secret, behind the scenes, we're putting the tour together right now.
Oh, so. All right.
And that's crazy because you remember like 2 days ago I asked you that question. I'm like, do Tom tour?
Yeah,
like, I asked you that, and I was like, I don't ever remember hearing a Tom tour, and that's good that she asked that question because I was just asking you because the same thing because I want to get an interview so bad. Wherever he's at closer, I'll come to you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, do you tour? Because a lot of people do interviews when they on tour because they in different cities of these places because they have to tour and they doing interviews. That's how bad I want this interview. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy she brought it up. Now we have the answer. He was like, yo, I think Tom is touring. Like, I'm pretty sure. And I'm like, I never heard of a Tom tour.
Yeah, because that's as an artist, most times that's where you make your money.
And that's what you said. You was like, that's how you make your money is through the tour. So I know he's touring. But
he's winning because of the fact that he's self-facilitating. You know what I'm saying? Independent.
Right.
So a tour is just like an extra buck up. So why would you not do it? You know what I'm saying?
But he said like because of COVID and stuff not happen. So I mean, you know, like
occurs.
Yeah, but everything happens when it's time for it to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's not on your time. It's just right when it's supposed to happen. Everything like he said, he don't believe in coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence either. I think that it's supposed to happen, and I don't think it's a coincidence that we just want to do this Tom interview. I know it's gonna happen.
Right.
All right, well, we'll stay tuned for that. That's so cool. That's great news. You know what? Look, I'm also a fan of hard work and that you make your own luck, so to speak. But I do feel like God sort of has timing for things in our lives. And
she's taking the words out of my mouth. You might as well let me do the interview. Everything I'm saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just say everything else.
You are where you're supposed to be when you're there.
Facts. Like, we right now in front of this camera for a reason. And I always knew it was for a reason. I knew it was way bigger than reaction but I always knew it was bigger. And then I was telling you, like, yo, I think that I just got into reactions to get comfortable in front of this camera so I could go to the next level and getting stuff. Because now, you know, I'm fully comfortable in front of this camera. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on my action. You know what I mean?
Facts.
You could look at my father-in-law, you know, not becoming president in 2020 and say, well, you know what? It was because people's eyes had to be open in so many ways. You had to see what a failure Joe Biden was, sold to us as nice old Uncle Joe. This is going to bring decency back to the White House, and like, what a joke that sort of thing is. And the timing maybe wasn't right for that, as much as, 75 million of us out there felt differently. So I don't know, maybe the timing is now for you. Maybe it's a great time to just really blow the doors off and use a lot of the gasoline, so to speak, that you just talked about, and just blow it up out there, because I think you probably will. When do we hear more about this, or can you tell us anymore?
I'm going to get through the Brave release cycle, and then that'll be next on the docket. And I do want to say, like, I completely agree that there is some divinity in the timing. I just spoke with somebody the other day about divine timing and blessings, and I really feel like my journey started 5 years ago with Dear Rappers, and we were living in South Central at the time. We had no money. We didn't have food. We had no money.
I like how while she was giving her little spiel there about her observation of Tom, Tom is always just tuned in.
Yeah, for sure.
And he has a way of, if he has a political viewpoint, he expresses it when he feels like it.
Right.
I've noticed that about him.
Right.
And at the same time, you can see his brain working like, all right, I see what you're doing here. I'll speak for myself. And then as soon as he got the chance to speak, he kind of, I'm just going to deflect from the political position conversation.
Right.
I don't necessarily agree with everything you're saying, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then he went right. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. Because sometimes people, when they're on Front Street, you know what I'm saying, they don't be thinking fast enough, and they'll walk through that door.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Dak said in the Olive Anthony remix yesterday when he said, I hear your question, but I know your agenda.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he's been in the game a long time, so this is not his first rodeo. You feel what I'm saying? After a while, you get to pick up on stuff, on why you was doing it. Or you could know where someone's leading you before they even lead you there. You feel what I'm saying? Like, because that's like kind of skill I got. You're not going to lead me anywhere. I know where you're going, and I know exactly why you're saying it. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you what I want to say. You feel what I'm saying? You could take what somebody do, and you could answer in your way without even really answering their question. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So Tom's good at that, too.
For rent, our fridge was plugged into my neighbor's garage so our food didn't spoil. And I sat on the front porch of that house and wrote Dear Rappers, which was my first sort of viral smash. And I remember looking at my phone after I finished writing the verses, and I did not remember writing a single word. It was truly like God spoke through me that day. Wow. And we were screwed. We were about to be homeless. We were starving. It was gnarly. So divine timing, godly intervention, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we're ready for it. I'll tell you, I'll be there if you make it to Florida or New York, depending. Let us all know at the right time. I gotta ask you. So look, you may or may not know this about me. Sometimes I've been known to do a little rapping myself. I'm not bad.
She got bars.
I want to see, did you hear Vivek Ramaswamy rapping at the Iowa State Fair?
No.
Did you happen to catch that?
I watched part of the Iowa State Fair though.
I gotta tell you, I like that he got out there and did it. I give credit where credit is due. Not bad. So okay. I mean, take yourself a look and see what you think. I'm gonna give somebody credit for that because it takes guts to get out on stage and do something like that. But Tom, all I'm saying is if you happen to catch me at a concert and you want to hand me a microphone, I'll be ready. and just that's all I'll say. Just know it now. So I want you to wrap your head around it, and I'll be ready. So
okay, hell yeah, let's go.
I want to take a second out to give a shout out to Lara Trump. She's doing a great job with this interview. This is the first interview I ever seen from her. I never seen her do an interview before. But she's keeping my attention. She's keeping me engaged, and she's asking great questions. And she has a great personality. And you gotta love her smile too.
Yeah.
For whatever that means for you. I wanted to ask you though. We did talk about John Rich. How was that working with him? Because it's such a cool song that you guys put together. And honestly, you're kind of a duo. I would have never thought like, oh, Tom MacDonald, John Rich. Like, obviously, how did that all work out?
Man, it was like a dream. Like, I've been
such a great guy, by the way.
So, like, the best.
Yeah.
So I've been watching John for, like, the longest time. Big and Rich. And I've, I'm not a huge country music guy, but I follow John, and my sister is the big country music fan in the family. So I'd heard a lot of his stuff through her. So John had, I don't know if he had retweeted a video or commented on something on Instagram or what, but he had sort of reached out and just said like, good job, kid. Like, I like what you're doing type of thing. And I was like, whoa, in total shock. But I didn't want to bother him right away and be like, I got a song for you. Like, we should do something together. So I just waited.
Didn't want to fangirl too hard. I got
yeah, exactly. It had to play cool. So, totally. So I waited around until I had the right song, which ended up being End of the World. And I had originally sung the hook on that song. And I had got John's number maybe from messaging him or something on Instagram. And I called him and said, look, man, I got this song. I think you'd sound incredible on the chorus. I want to take my chorus off of it, and I'd love you to do something of your own. I sent him the song, and he just said, Tom, the chorus is so perfect the way that it is. I don't want to change any of the words. I don't want to mess with the melody too much. I think you've done something amazing here. I'd just love to be associated with it and be part of it. So we had John re-sing the original chorus, and he took it to a place like far beyond. I'm not a great singer, He took that to a place far beyond where I was capable of doing it myself. And being in hip hop,
that's realness. Tom being an artist, it's like people won't never say that. Like, he took it somewhere I couldn't take it to. That just shows you how it really is. Most people wouldn't even let that come out their mouth, that somebody could take something somewhere, because everyone feel like I can do everything. I can do it better. You know what I'm saying? But he like, yo,
you need help sometimes.
Facts.
like in this genre, like I'm kind of like a lone wolf as far as my type of content and what I'm doing and what I'm willing to say and stuff like that. And maybe in country music it's a little more prevalent. And it was just so nice to find somebody else in the industry that thinks like me, that speaks like me, that has the same values as me, and who's willing to put it all on the line. John's.
That's what it, like. That's I'm glad why he said that, because there's a lot of people that feel like him and think like him, but they're not willing to put their houses and cars and their bank accounts on the line to really get out there with. Because I'm pretty sure most of them feel like he feel, but they like, I ain't trying to mess up my bag. I ain't trying to mess my money up. So I'm just gonna be over here, and I'm gonna keep my mouth closed as long as it's not affecting me personally. What's going on? People seem like they
find a way to censor themselves.
Yeah, people don't really. It seems like people don't really care about what's going on until they directly being affected by it. But then they care. But you got to care about stuff when it's not affecting you, because it's not. It's only a matter of time before it actually comes.
It affects you.
It affects you. So jump on it early. Don't wait till it's knocking at your front door.
Yeah, because that's the man. You hit the nail on the head with that one. Like, people need to care. Like, it's just like when the whole pandemic started. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's over there. It's no big deal.
It's in China.
Till air moves.
Yeah. Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And that's like, what do we do? How do we fix this? You know what I'm saying? You got to be proactive about things. And you have to have these conversations. And you have to not just know. What's the use of knowing and not applying the knowledge obtained? You gotta use your brains, people. That's what it comes down to.
And like and that's what it's about. It's like you can't be motivated by money. And I think that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because money's not motivating me. And I tell you all the time, YouTube not funding me. I'm funding YouTube. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not money motivated. I'm not making a lot of money off of this, but every day I get up at 7 o'clock and we come up here and start recording, and it has nothing to do with money. It just have everything to do with growing and trying to catch some dreams.
And expanding that brand.
Yeah. So most people just money motivated. Like, money don't move me. You know what I'm saying? Like, at all. As long as I can pay my bills, my kids is good, I'm straight. I don't need millions and millions of dollars. I don't want to be rich. I just want to be comfortable. And it's a difference.
Yeah. It's all about stability.
That dude. Like,
wow,
he's got guts and spades. So so that's the way it went down, and it was absolutely incredible. And I'm actually been bugging him this week about doing another one. So
very cool.
That's dope.
Man, what a tour that would be. Get like you guys on stage together, Adam Calhoun, like the whole thing. I think it sounds so cool.
Don't forget Dax.
Well, listen, I think that people are starting to know your name, you know, in a very big way these days. I'm sure so many people know where to find you, but for those who don't, where can they find your music? Where can they find you? Where should they follow you, etc.?
Well, you're not going to find my music on the radio because it's been canceled there.
Yeah, that's
no one listens to the radio.
But if you can head over to YouTube, which is sort of the black market of controversial music right now.
The black market.
Controversial music. You can find the search YouTube Tom MacDonald. It's youtube.com/Tom MacDonald Official. I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/Tom MacDonald Official. My Twitter is I am Tom MacDonald. My Instagram is Hangover Gang. And my website is hangovergang.com.
There we go. Well, Tom, listen, you're the best. You're awesome. There's so much more to come. I'm just going to make a prediction right here, right now. You will have more music on the radio in the future. And all those losers out there who called in and got, you know, like wet their pants over this whole thing are going to feel like the biggest, you know, bunch of garbage. We'll just keep it PG. They're just going to feel like who they are truly inside. And it's pretty awesome.
And that's dope. We did this interview. I never knew Tom's name on Instagram. So, I mean, I just found them. Boom. So, I mean, that's dope. We just got information up.
Mm-hmm. Awful. So, I'm just going to...
And it goes back to what I was saying. She's asking all the right questions.
Right.
To predict that right now, because you can't hold it back. Whenever the storm's coming your way, you can't stop it. You can try, but you really can't. And I think that's you. So I'm a big fan. Good luck with everything. Thank you for joining us again for another great show. And we're on the lookout. We'll be looking out for when you're coming on tour. I'll be there. Don't. I'm not joking when I say you can hand me a mic. I'll be ready.
She said I got bars.
I promise.
I ain't gonna promise.
I've done
no
many
promises.
interviews this week. Laura, you're my absolute favorite. You always are.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank you.
So I just want to say that. And also, I will see you in Florida, and I will be passing that microphone to your hand.
Okay, you heard it here, folks. Tom MacDonald, thanks for joining us. To everybody at home, as always, like, subscribe, share, and follow. We'll see you back here next time for more of The Right View.
It's TRE-TV. Let's get it.
This is Lamar Wilson here, and I'm representing Ghetto Action News Network _, all lowercases,
no spaces.
You can find us on Facebook. Make sure you like that page. Scroll down the page, find something you like, make some comments, and share. All right, I'm gonna get down to the. This was a great interview, I have to say, by Lara Trump on Tom MacDonald.
She did a good job.
A lot of information was gained, a lot of understanding. I liked her format because she kind of led him through questions, but he was able to answer honestly, and she gave him time to speak. A lot of times when I see interviews, it's like a quick question, quick answer, but when you get to hear someone go in depth to really analyze their thought process and the making of the music, it gives you a greater understanding. And I think this was dope. What do you think about it?
I think it was a dope interview. It was just nice to hear from Tom in his interview, and I did notice real Tom and Tom that's on the music videos, you could tell they're two completely different people. You can't really gauge him like this in an interview the same way you could gauge him in an interview. And it was just nice to sit back and hear him talk. It was the first time I heard him sit back and talk. I don't know about you, but I thought that Lara Trump did a good job, and I thought Tom MacDonald did a good job, and I thought overall it was a dope interview, and it's glad to know that he is going to go on tour, because I was just asking you that question a couple days ago, and it was good that we finally got an answer to that. And I think it's divine timing. I can't wait till he do go on tour, because I think a lot more people need to hear what he's saying, and when he go on tour, a lot more people is going to have the chance to hear what he's saying. I think that is dope, and I can't wait until we get into our next Tom MacDonald episode. But until then, it's your boy TRE-TV, and I'm out.